There's a whole lot of debate when it comes to who is the strongest Pokemon, and while there are some clear-cut answers and some Pokemon who many a trainer would never want to have to face off against in a battle, there's also a ton of legendary Pokemon with various forms that are known to dish out the ultimate amount of damage. So today we're counting down the top 10 strongest Pokemon. Also, for the sake of keeping this list interesting, we'll be bulking in certain Pokemon's Mega forms in with their base one as one number. And be sure to stick around till the end of the video where we'll be reading off some comments from previous vids. Now let's get to it. At number 10, Mew. Let's start off our list with one of the only Generation 1 Pokemon we've included on this list. The OG legendary Mew. Mew was the mythical Pokemon that appeared in the original Red, Blue, and Yellow titles. A Pokemon who can learn every single TM, HM, and move tutor, minus the ones exclusive to specific Pokemon. And Mew is the reason why we have MEWTWO. One gave birth to a Pokemon which was then experimented on, resulting in MEWTWO. But Mew has been capable of defeating its successor, and that's no easy feat. Hence why the little pink Pokemon has made it onto our list. Sure, there's lots of other legendary Pokemon out there who could arguably defeat Mew with ease, but something's gotta be said for history friends, and often Mew is full of surprises. Moving on to number 9, Ultra NECROZMA. From Generation 1 all the way to Generation 7, here we have NECROZMA, or rather, specifically its Ultra form. While NECROZMA is not to be taken lightly in its initial form, or its Dusk Mane or Dawn Wings form, its Ultra form is the product of fusing with other legendaries and then evolving into something even more powerful. This form is said to have absorbed an overwhelming amount of light energy, and the light pouring out from all over its body affects living things and nature. It also shoots laser beams, so yep, pretty deadly. And at number 8, Diancie. Don't be fooled by Diancie's cutesy appearance. This Pokemon will tear you a new a-hole if you end up facing off against it in battle. A rock fairy type, it's a legendary Pokemon that hit the scene as part of Generation 6. Mega Diancie is what this Pokemon will evolve into if you use the Diancite, which gave this legendary a serious and much needed power boost. It's incredibly fast, and thanks to its magic bounce ability, it has good offensive stats. That being said, trainers who use a Mega Diancie may find themselves often having to rely on its hidden power move. And at number 7, ZYGARDE. ZYGARDE has multiple forms, as do many of the other Pokemon on this list, but it's its ZYGARDE complete form that makes it a total behemoth in battle. It's got an HP stat of 216, it's incredibly versatile, and its Dragon Dance move will compensate any of its lacking offensive damage by making it incredibly fast, allowing for it to outspeed most Pokemon. Plus, its 1000 Arrows move comes in handy when facing off against other powerful threats, including other legendaries. And at number 6, GIRATINA. GIRATINA is a fan favorite when it comes to talking about extremely strong Pokemon. First appearing in Diamond and Pearl, its altered form packs one hell of a punch, but its origin form is even more feared. This Ghost Dragon Pokemon only appears as its origin form when in the Distortion world, and it's highly aggressive and territorial, having the ability to pass through dimensions at its own will. It can hold its own against many other extremely strong legendaries too. And at 5, Primal GROUDON. Despite being insanely strong in its initial form, this Pokemon gets even more of a power boost thanks to its Primal Reversion, which is pretty much kinda like a Mega Evolution for Groudon that appeared in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Now it has one of the highest stat points at 770, and is capable of a whole lot of environmental effects. Its Desolate Land ability protects it from water type attacks, which is pretty darn impressive. But then there's its whole fire-water rivalry with our next powerful Pokemon, and at number 4, Primal KYOGRE. The reason why Primal KYOGRE tops our last number is simply because of its type. It's a water Pokemon, and Groudon is a half ground type, half water. That being said, Groudon's stats are better because of its boost and special abilities, but it can fall privy to Kyogre's water attacks. Kyogre's Primadoral Sea protects it in a similar fashion to Groudon's Desolate Land ability. Anywho, Kyogre is like the yin to Groudon's yang, and both are an equally immense threat if you come face to face with them. And at number 3, Arceus. Many feel that Arceus is the strongest Pokemon out there, and they aren't wrong. When it comes to base stats, it's incredibly powerful. Facing off against any Pokemon that isn't a Mega Evolution usually results in a whole lot of fainting. Now, according to its lore, Arceus essentially created all other Pokemon. It's a damn god. It's known as the original one, and is responsible for possibly creating the entire Pokemon universe. It's a normal type Pokemon, but nothing about it is ordinary. When it's holding a plate or a type specific Z crystal, it will change its type to whatever is the most advantageous. It's well balanced too, which feels like the least interesting fact about it, but in terms of battle, that does go a long way. And at number 2, Rayquaza. Rayquaza is a beast. Now for starters, it's a legendary Pokemon whose initial base stats are enough to make any Pokemon trainer poop their pants a little. You don't own one, that is. But then when the Mega Evolutions via the Mega Stone popped up, Game Freak was like, hey, you know what would be utterly terrifying but totally awesome? a Mega Rayquaza, and it basically becomes incredibly resistant to Pokemon types that would normally cause it damage, with their attacks doing half as much damage as they normally would. So yeah, Mega Rayquaza is a bit of a trump card, even though at times its speed may be a bit of an issue. But with the kinds of offensive power it has, often that isn't a totally unmanageable problem. And finally, in at number 1, Mewtwo. Mewtwo is one of the original Generation 1 Pokemon, but its initial form is not what earns it the top spot on our list. It's the forms that it can Mega evolve into. Mega Mewtwo X and Mega Mewtwo Y. Now these forms appeared in Pokemon X and Y, and dear lord, they are immensely powerful. Its X form has a base attack of 190, and its Y form has a base stat total of 780, which is only comparable to our last number's Mega form. Now Mewtwo is a man-made Pokemon birthed by Mew with its DNA spliced, a torturous process that gave it a bitter resentment towards humans. The experiments by Dr. Fuji were an attempt to clone Mew, and while it did result in arguably the strongest Pokemon at the time and later on in X and Y, the resulting conflict was destructive at best. That being said, if you ever got your hands on one of Mewtwo's Mega evolutions, well, I feel sorry for your opponent. Alright, there we have it, friends. There's a whole lot of Pokemon we didn't discuss on this list, so if you guys want us to do a part 2, give us a shout in those comments below. Also, if you disagree with our picks, or think the order should be rearranged, give us a shout about that too and tell us why. Speaking of comments, here's some from our video, Top 10 Dumbest Smash Characters. From Wandaliz Gonzalez, I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, hey, that's a good way to celebrate the release of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate by criticizing the game's characters. I mean, there's a lot of fantastic characters in the Smash series too. But the series ain't perfect. And just like any franchise, it's had its up and down moments concerning certain characters and their capabilities. So we're just having some good fun over that. Don't be hating. From Zakino, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong too. They say, should really put in the Waluigi. Oh, poor Waluigi. Dude is always getting the short end of the stick. Who out there loves Waluigi? Seriously, I want to see some more love out there for him. This one comes from someone with the username me. Just when I thought Watch Mojo was the dumbest channel at making top 10 lists. Well, I don't even need to comment on that because someone already did for me. The Jacob Surgener. Regardless, they say, what, because these guys picked their personal preferences on what characters they don't like? Yes, how dare they share their opinions. You're missing the point of these types of channels completely. Enough said. Thanks, Jacob. From Mark Magma. Number 1 should be Mario in my opinion. He just doesn't fit amongst all these big names. A jumping plumber doesn't even compare to video game legends like the Villager, the Wii Fit Trainer, the Ice Climbers, Isabelle, or our Lord and Savior, the one and only, the myth, the legend, Piranha Plant. You're a goddamn legend, Mark Magma. And lastly from Andrew I'm sorry, I'm butchering that. Awesome Sauce, my 2 favorite top 10 gaming ladies. Lucy will be missed, but I will check out the other channel today. You two are aces, simply aces. Thanks, Andrew. I'm sorry I said your last name wrong. If I didn't, let me know. I'll be surprised though if I did. Yeah. Lucy's still gonna have videos on our channel, so be sure to tune in daily, and hers will occasionally pop up. We're also doing a lot of collabs together now, so we appreciate the love. Thanks. Alright, that's it for now, folks. If you guys dug this video, spread the love, hit that like button, you guys know the drill. And hey, subscribe if you're new, we'd love it if you hung out with us some more. In the meantime though, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.